Welcome. I'm Bill Wake. For the last couple of weeks on Twitch, we've been working on a game called Betwist. The idea is you have a grid of letters and you're going to try and find words in them. The twist part is you can twist the grid around and wrap around the corner. Okay, so far this is covering 2 weeks because I didn't do a summary last week. First, we built a basic game with the board or grid with wrapping around, selection, and a list of words you've guessed. And this last week we focused on generating boards, twisting the board so it physically kind of rotates, and validating words in the dictionary. Let's do a demo and take a code walkthrough. So we have a board like this full of letters. Set it to 5. I imagine in the end we'll be able to set it between 4 and 6 or so. And you're just looking for words. There's a commercial game, Boggle, that trademarked somebody, that is similar so far, but I can see size there. Okay, and I can either click here and grab that word. I see mast. And I can also click up here. And then I can wrap around, so I can see mast. All right, but we can also rotate the board. So I'll slide it down like this. It doesn't change. I can grab something wrapped around, but but it's helpful. You get kind of a different view of the board, and it might make you see something else that's not there, or that you couldn't see before. Okay, so it's definitely harder to see wrapped around. So moving the board is a help. Okay, so let's see. Let's do something you can't do. I don't let you take 3-letter words, so you get a message there. Now, the board itself, that's going to be the focus next week. It's, there's too much gap here. These letters are too big. It doesn't resize based on the actual phone size. All that stuff's going to come later. All right, I'm going to work kind of bottom to top, and the simplest thing we have is the location, which is really just a row and a column, and it knows how to answer is some other location a neighbor. So during your selection, you'll want to know that, and we can move from one location to another based on a delta. So delta location is just 2 offsets, row and column offsets. All right, then the main thing is the grid you see. And we know its size. We could probably derive that, but I haven't decided what the best balance is there yet. And then a grid, which is an array of strings. Our letters, each letter is a string. We may have other things other than letters we want to use, or we may have 2-letter pairs or something. So we'll hold off a bit there. All right, and it just knows how to grab things out of the grid. This %% is a modulo operator. The one that comes with percent acts a little funny for negative numbers and stuff, so we just built our own. All right, now the selection, when you're clicking around on the board, we track it. We track the guess that gets generated from that. What are all the letters in order? And we let you select and clear. Okay, so you decide whether you're starting a new word or you're appending to an existing one, is the key decision in there. And then the type is, we currently just distinguish open letters that you haven't touched from, first, middle, and last are treated the same. They all create a white on black to show the selection. All right, as you're going, you have guesses, and that's just a list of guesses. There's a little behavior because we want to prepend the latest guess, and also we don't allow duplicates. You can enter them, but we just only keep one. So if it's already there and you prepend it, then we remove it first and then insert it at the front. Okay, and then twister is its core thing is doing this twist function. So we have the grid, and what we're going to do is kind of behind the scenes keep track of the original grid and where's your visual corner. Okay, so if you twist in one direction, the corner location changes, sort of the starting point. Where am I going to draw the first cell from? And, as I rotate one way or the other, that increases by one X or Y, or row or column. All right. And this little map just gets us, from one to the next. Okay. In the view, we use row indexes and column indexes. So this twister object knows that, if you haven't done anything, then you're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you're starting in the second column, or column 2, you're going to go 2, 3, 4, 0, 1. And as the drawing routine, it just takes the location, it takes the original location it's told. Okay. And so this way we're kind of keeping the original locations the same. You don't know from the grid side. You just know your locations. You don't know that things are twisted around, and something external, this twister, takes care of that. What we have to, if we didn't do that, we'd have to have some other way of locating, where the letters were as we moved. And since you can have duplicate letters on the board, you'd have to make sure you knew which one was which and so on. And you'd have two spaces and that kind of thing. This lets me get away from that a little bit. All right. And then working our way up, the last piece is the game that brings them all together. So it knows the size, that's minimum size for a word. It knows the grid, it knows the twister, so we can manage that part. It knows the selection, it knows what guesses you've made, and then it knows what vocabulary you have. I guess I should bring that one up too. All right, vocabulary is just the dictionary. And for now, we're starting off very simple. We've got a nice dictionary. I think it's like 250,000 rows, basically, or words. And we're just doing a simple contains for the word. I've got some ideas on some different... I'd like to do something where if you give a long word and there's a shorter word in it, that you get credit for both. So I'll go back to this. We had master, but that also contains the word mast. Okay, so that would be good for us. We'd get credit for mast and for master. But to do that, the vocabulary is going to have to answer different questions involving prefixes. Okay, and then back to the game. Given that dictionary, we initialize. We've got to know what letter. What size am I? What letters are my random letters? And then what's my vocabulary? We used James Shore's idea of a null object, a null dependency kind of plugged in. If you do this null vocabulary, we accept any word, and that's handy for tests. And I don't think we'll use it in real production, but it works. And it helps. Okay, and then game mostly is coordinating between all these objects. So it lets you select, you can block selection, so turn it off while you're animating things and so on, and then restore it. You can deselect, so that lets you, if you select a full word, we delete the selection and you start with an empty selection. Okay, and then validate. You can decide if this is a word, collect if it's been accepted. We keep track of the last location. We let you twist, and we got those row and column indices. So in some ways, this game coordinates those other 4 or 5 or 6 objects that the view wants to have available to it. So it's kind of, I don't know that I call it presenter exactly, but or view model exactly, but it kind of is. It gets it all in one place, and that helps. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to focus first on being independent of screen size next week, and then scoring, and then finding words you didn't guess. I think that will fill up the week, if not more. Maybe not. Some things have gone much faster than I thought, so that's been good. You can join us Monday through Thursday, 2 to 4:30 Eastern Time, or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. xp123.com/Twitch will take you to the live session if we're live, and I guess it'll take you to the previous sessions if we're not there. And xp123.com/YouTube, I've got the old sessions. They're time delayed a week or two, and they're lightly edited. So I hope you can join us sometime, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.